So it's my birthday next week. I'll be 65 years old. I don't know how I feel about that. You know, it isn't that love escaped me. It's that love just didn't capture me. Feel like I am home again. You know, they say people don't really remember what we did or what we said, but they remember how we made them feel. Everybody, I am so happy to see you today. Thank you so much for coming back and seeing me and Desi. I hope you had a wonderful winter week and that you're keeping warm. You know, in a couple days, it's going to be my birthday. I'm going to be 65 years old. So I thought today I would do something completely different. And in this little video, I would just like to go through some of the lessons that I have learned in my life. And I mean, I've been on this earth for 65 years and I've learned some things the hard way. So I thought I wanted to share that journey with you today. And I thought that maybe in going through some of the things that I have learned in my life that have made me a better woman and given me a happier life, I thought if I went through some of these things that you might find a little nugget of value for yourself. So I thought it would be a win-win today. You know, one of the first lessons that I learned in my 20s, and it was how to treat other people. I had to learn how to smile at people. I had to learn how to engage them in talking. I had to learn how to step outside the circle of myself and let them in, you know, let them shine. And there's a quote by Maya Angelou, and the quote is, you know, people won't always remember what you did or what you said, but they'll remember how you made them feel. And I think that is something that I cherish, and I live that every single day in every single thing that I do. You know, in the end, I'm not so sure what I'll remember. Maybe the beautiful random acts of kindness or the love for my family. Or maybe just the surprises. You know, ever since I was a little girl, I have been so fascinated by love. I read books about love. I loved movies about love. I wrote endless songs about love. And I have filmed a lot of videos about love. I saw a plaque in a store yesterday, and it was the quote about love that's so beautiful. And I kind of read it out loud, and you know how I do. And it meant a lot to me. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. You know, one thing I have had to learn about myself and love is that although I loved deeply, I I truly did. I loved with all my heart. Still, there was something inside me that prevented me from giving 100%. It was just perhaps the way that I was raised, so independent, so terrified of being half a couple. My mama always used to say, I've never seen a child like you. You just hate for anybody to tell you what to do. And that was always why marriage felt so suffocating to me, why relationships seemed so suffocating, because I just didn't want to be under anybody's thumb. So the one thing that I've learned about love isn't somebody yelling at you or hitting you or demanding or getting drunk and calling you names. That's not love. That's not love. Love is something that I have experienced. I just couldn't make it work.
Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes.
You know, I think the next lesson, I'm actually still learning how to navigate this one. But, you know, it's not always about me, but you know what? Sometimes it is. And it takes some talent to know when it is about yourself and to be assertive and to tell people what you want, what you expect, what you desire, what will make you happy. People aren't mind readers. If you don't express yourself, then how are they to know? How are you ever going to be a fulfilled person if you don't make your wishes known and known in, you know, not in an abrasive way, but, you know, in a human to human way?
What are the 3 things you want most right now in life? I bet you could name them quickly without even thinking.
You know, dealing with grief is something that we're very familiar with on this channel. We help each other because we're at this time in our life where we're losing friends or we're losing parents. So it's difficult. And I have always said that not even death can stop all that love that we had for our loved one, and even though they're gone, their love remains within us. And every time we write about them or talk about them, every time we feel their presence, they live on in us. The love doesn't die. It's almost like a beautiful editing job. We look back on our relationship with our loved one and we edit it down to these beautiful, beautiful memories. And we play it in our head. And the more time goes by, the more those memories become almost a symphony, a beautiful painting for us to enjoy. It's never easy. But I know for me personally, the way that I have dealt with grief is I have felt completely shattered. And that's okay. And perhaps that's the way it's supposed to be. It's like we just are shattered into a million pieces. But as time goes by, it gets better. It gets better and the pieces get put together in a different way. We are different people. And change is scary. But we gain so much strength from the love of our loved one that has passed. So, grief is not to be feared. Grief is life and grief is love. And we're here for each other. You know, I started doing videos here on YouTube 5 years ago. And I want to show you a clip of the first video I did, that was on my birthday, and it's the first video where I said, it's my birthday, and these are the things that are on my mind. And you know, I remember filming that video like I did it yesterday. And I remember what I was thinking at that time is how much I loved visiting with you every single week, and how I was afraid that as I got older, I wouldn't be able to come in front of the camera. They inspired me and made me think about how I want to age. Because someday I'm going to come before this camera and not all that too far away from where we are right now. And every inch of my face is going to be a wrinkle. Not a little wrinkle, but a deep wrinkle. And I want to be okay with that. It's a fight mentally to stay on top of it, and to feel vibrant, that you have a purpose, and that it isn't, you just can't just casually say, well, I'm aging, whatever. At least not for me. I have to work at it. Just like, you know, you work at friendship, you work at your job, you work at marriage. And I have to work on being as vibrant and staying as youthful in mind and heart as possible. It isn't just something that's going to happen. I got to work on it.
So I was reading at 65, you're supposed to pick out 3 things that you want more than anything in life, and then plot out a way how to achieve it.
The last lesson that I have learned in all these years that I wanted to share with you is about happiness. And, well, I kind of have to take you back for a minute. In 2009, my mother got very, very ill, and I had to move her into a nursing home. So I had to move her out of her apartment. And that is and I know so many of you know exactly what that's like. Your parent is ill, they can't ever go home again, so you're cleaning out their home or their apartment, and it's a lonely, lonely journey. But my mother had a beautiful neighbor, and her name was Dorothea. And she made that whole business of those days and days that it took me to move my mom out of her apartment. She made that so much better for me. Dorothea was 90 years old. And I remember that day she invited me into her apartment. And my mom loved her. And Dorothea, I kid you not, Dorothea was beautiful, gorgeous. Her apartment was just full of antiques and art, and absolutely beautiful. She dressed in such a beautiful, like, French way, and she had beautiful gray hair and tons of it, and she piled it on top of her head like a Gibson girl. And she spoke with such grace and with such a lilt in her voice, and it was like magic. She was like an angel to me during the time I needed an angel the most. And she made me tea, and we talked about her life, and she had buried a husband and a daughter and a son. Yeah. And she was alone. She was alone in this city with no family. But she took my hand and she told me that she was happy. And she said that my mother's love would always be with me no matter what. And that my mom would want me to be happy. And then she got a little bit closer. And she said, all we get in life are moments of happiness. And it's our job to sew those moments together like a quilt. And at the end of our life, if we've done our job right, we have a beautiful, beautiful quilt And that quilt is all those memories, all those moments of pure happiness all sewn together. And we wrap ourselves in that quilt and it comforts us in our old age. And then she said, and if you really do it right, that quilt is something that you will pass down to your children. And I think she was right. Where's Desi? Desi, do you want to say goodbye to the people? I know you've been dying to talk to the folks for a long time. You've just been sitting there. Desi, do you want to get up and say goodbye to the people? Hey everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I think Desi kind of hung. Have you noticed that the last month or so, like Desi is hanging out with us the entire time? Anyway, thank you so much for being here today. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful brand new week. And when you're done with your week, come back and see us, okay? All right, it's a deal. To help me tell the ladies about happiness? Do you want to do that? If you don't want to do that, you're going to have to move. But if you don't mind, you can just hang out. All right, here we go.